Okay, so welcome. My name is Laura Cameron. I am the operations manager here at Stitchcraft Marketing. I'm joined by my colleagues Flossie and Rebecca, and welcome to Office Hours. We hold these sessions once a month, and we try to address a topic that we feel would be of interest to you. And then we also open the floor for questions and answers. If you miss a session, they are always on our YouTube channel afterwards. I usually upload them the same afternoon. And many of our presentations like today, like the one today, also can be supplemented with material from our blog. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And let's get started. Too many buttons. Okay, so let me put into present. So can everyone see my screen? Great. So today we're going to talk about updates to Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Back in June of 2020, we developed some quick guides to Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And every 6 months or so, I go back and look for what's new, what's changed, so that I can update our best practices and bring you updates about things you might want to know about. So everything that I'm talking about today, or most of what I'm talking about today, is also in a post on our blog that went up this morning. So you can find a lot of the information and links there as well. And again, that is just kind of updating. The blog post covers all the new updates. There is also a link there to re-download, if you'd like, our free 7-page PDF guide, which is kind of a full guide to Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. We built those so we have a little information on getting started, some information about what makes a great post and how to post on the different applications, including optimal photo sizes. We talk a little bit about advertising opportunities on each of them. And then at the bottom of the PDF for each is a little bit of information about what is new. Sorry, I went and looked at my chat. Now you can see it. At the bottom of each is a little bit about what is new for each 6 months. So, and those are continually updated. You will have to go re-download them. You can get them. We will also have a link to them in our newsletter coming up for this month. So I will put the link to them in Monthly Magic. So if you want to wait, you can just download them then. Let's see. Okay, so Facebook turned 17 years old this year, which it means it is now a persnickety teenager, and it has approximately 2.7 billion monthly users. One of the interesting statistics is 18.3% of users made a purchase through Facebook last year. Whether or not we were super into social posting and purchasing through social posts, the pandemic has changed that a lot. A lot more people are buying online and through posts that they're seeing. So you just want to keep that in mind as you prepare your posts for Facebook. You can upload your full catalog to Facebook and it can integrate with your Shopify site so that people can you can create shoppable posts on Facebook and Instagram. So the iOS 14 update, that was kind of the largest event of the year. And we still don't have great data on advertising campaigns. I know for most of you, you are small creative businesses, and so your advertising campaigns are not huge. You're not making use of a lot of retargeting, some of those kinds of things, which is good news. People are giving apps permission to track their behavior about 25% of the time, which means before the iOS update, the default was that your data sharing was on and you had to proactively go and ask it to stop sharing your data, which meant the default for many people was just to leave it on. These days now, it asks you whether or not you want your data shared, and most people are opting out of that. So that is going to change some of the metrics that we can use to target ads on Facebook, and that is going to affect advertising campaigns. So Facebook is looking into some alternatives. They are looking at a way to develop delivering ads to mobile devices that would filter the ads on the mobile device based on the data that is stored on the mobile device. So your phone has a lot of data about you, your user habits, when you browse things, what you browse, your demographics, where you go, what you do. Phones contain a lot of that data. And so one of the things that Facebook is trying to do is maybe target ads based on the data that's stored on your phone so that they wouldn't have that data but that they could actually deliver advertisements to you based on that data. So that may be coming next, but if you've seen any decrease in conversions from your Facebook advertising efforts, that may be because of some of this. Facebook has been rolling out its new business suite for the last year and a half or so. Business, and it keeps changing a little bit, and each day there are more tools and some tools are going away. So business suite is basically a single dashboard for your linked Facebook and Instagram accounts. So you can do all kinds of things, including check your notifications, you can respond to messages, you can create posts and stories, you can manage your shop, you can create ads, and then also Facebook gives you a lot of insights and details as to what kind of an audience you're reaching, when you're reaching them. You can look at engagement on specific posts. This is just a screenshot of one of the accounts that we help manage, and you can see a little bit of what it looks like. So Business Suite, like I said, is rolling out. You'll have more functions over time. We also expect that some of the other tools will be retired. So Facebook Ads Manager will probably go under the Facebook Business Suite ads. We also expect maybe Creator Suite will go away because now you can create a lot of the same things under posts and stories. So if you haven't tried to get to know this format, I would say get to know it because it is going to be the norm going forward. They're placing a lot of emphasis on that. Live audio rooms and podcasts. It's kind of interesting to me because for so long now, we've been focused on video for the last couple months or for the last couple of years, that it's interesting to me that with apps like Clubhouse, audio is making a comeback. And so Facebook has launched live audio rooms and podcasts. So if you have thought about creating audio content, that is potentially a way to do it. Facebook Live audio rooms allows up to 50 speakers, which means you can invite people to be part of a panel if you'd like, and have commentary between them. And there are no limits on the number of listeners. So if you want to set up some audio and some broadcast, it's pretty easy to do, and Facebook is giving you some options to do it. So let's move on to Instagram. 81% of users use Instagram to research products and make purchasing decisions. That means people are looking at your brand and what you're doing, even if you're not selling through Instagram. They're looking to see who you are, what you do, what kinds of products you carry, what kinds of people use your products. Are you sharing interesting content? So again, Instagram is a great place to attract some attention and build out your brand. 130 million users tap on shopping posts each month. Yep, Instagram shopping is becoming a big thing. And like I said, the pandemic has really influenced that and meant that people are doing lots more shopping. Instagram is spending an increasing amount of time developing video features and promoting them. So we know that you're not that keen on video. It is hard to create. We are going to be addressing a topic in one of our upcoming blog posts and probably a office hours as well on how to create video content from still images and other assets that you may already have. So stay tuned for that. It's coming because we know that actually filming video content is a little bit daunting. That said, you'd be wise to think about those things because Instagram Reels and short video content are really being emphasized in the Instagram algorithms. So Instagram was the year of the Reel, which is short form video. Basically, this is a competitor to TikTok, and a lot of Instagram's movements this year have sort of followed TikTok. In April, Instagram added remix reels, which means you can share, duet, comment on other people's Instagram reels, just like you can on TikTok videos. And then in June, they also introduced advertising in reels. In August of 2021, Instagram announced that reels could now be up to 60 seconds long. And we're seeing a lot of promoted and influencer features in reels. So, and they are getting the priority in the algorithms. Some days when you open your Instagram, all you see is video content now. And so, like I said, sort of behooves you to think about what kind of video content you can create. Instagram the future. So this is kind of interesting. This was a post by Adam Mosseri earlier this year, where he basically said, we're no longer just a photo sharing app. And I don't know exactly what that's going to mean. However, what I think it's going to mean is that they want Instagram to be an entertainment app, and that means a lot more video content. We have already seen that some of the features of Instagram that only relate to photos, they're experimenting with doing away with them. For instance, I know some users have reported that they can no longer share posts on their grid to stories, so no longer sharing static photo posts. I really think Instagram is going to de-emphasize photos. And while that's not what I would do if I were Instagram, we also sort of have to play by the rules of what Instagram, Instagram is going to tell us what it wants us to do, and they are going to create rewards and penalties to incentivize the behavior that they want. If they're not going to show our photos, we're going to have to produce some video content to be able to share. And I do think that Flossie is going to help us with figuring out how to take a lot of our static photo assets and turn them into something with movement so that we can qualify that as video content. So we'll be keeping our eye on that and updating you as we know more. The other fun thing is that text translation is now available in stories. So if you cater to multiple markets in terms of languages, now you have the opportunity to share a story and then do some automatic text translation, which I think is really great. It means that you don't have to type out subtitles 2 times. Text translations has launched in over 90 languages so far, and we expect that they will be adding more to that. But that's just kind of a great feature if you're marketing internationally. So Pinterest saw absolutely explosive growth last year in the pandemic because Pinterest is a place for finding things that you want to do and finding crafting inspiration, whether it's, doing your own home makeovers or craft projects or planning vacations or parties. And so Pinterest has over 459 million users. Nearly half of those users are using Pinterest to shop. And Pinterest is really basically what its focus has shifted to try and provide the pinner with everything they could want and more, even things that they don't know they want. And they want to offer them ideas and inspiration, and also they want to offer them shopping opportunities. So some changes to Pinterest. One is that Pinterest has changed their analytics overview. Their default view now shows you everything you have created, but not necessarily pins that you have pinned from other places. So if you did a lot with repinning and pin looping back in the day, that is not going to get you as far these days. The default view is only pins that you have actually created. So I believe it's not even pins that you save from a website. It's only pins that you go in and actually create in Pinterest or in a third-party content creation platform. I will say that you can go back and see what other interest your pins are garnering. A lot of us have pins from a long time ago that we shared that aren't necessarily our content, but that have gone viral and gotten a lot of traction. If you see all the way down on the left-hand column, all the way down at the bottom, it says include saved pins. If you click that box, then you can see all the traffic that your boards are getting, not just the pins you've created. However, like I said, Pinterest is really focusing on what you can create and what you can offer pinners. So spend a lot more time on creating your own content, the products in your store, making shoppable posts, those kinds of things. And that's going to get you a lot more traction on Pinterest. Pinterest is rolling out a new feature. I believe it's now available in the US and the UK to select users, and my guess is it will go platform-wide, internationally as we move on. It's a shopping list feature, and basically it allows pinners to save all of the items that they might consider purchasing in one list so that they don't have to go back and find where they saved individual pins or to boards or whatnot. And then they can go into their shopping list and see things like reviews, prices, price drops. One of the things that the shopping list will do is it will notify you if an item on your list has a price drop, which could notify you of a sale. You can say compare between 2 things. If you really want a new pair of white sneakers or Velcro strap shoes or any of those things, you can save a whole bunch of them, and then you can view them all in the grid at the same time and kind of compare between. So this is allowing for a lot more shopping options on Pinterest. And of course, if there are going to be more shopping options, there needs to be a verified merchant program. So Pinterest has now started a verified merchant program. Basically, you can get your blue check mark by applying. You need to connect your catalog to Pinterest. Then you'll need to install tags to access analytics, and then you'll go through the final application process. I don't believe it's super onerous, but I believe that what Pinterest is looking for when they're looking to verify you as a merchant is that you have a legitimate store, that you have good reviews, that you have a nice variety of products, and that you're carrying things that they think pinners will want to purchase. So I don't think it's a super stringent, onerous process if you have a business, but if you are thinking about investing more effort in Pinterest, then you probably want to think about going for the verified merchant program. Being a verified merchant also means that your products get featured more heavily in the algorithms. So all of this is to sort of give you a leg up on people who are not doing these things. So as I said, we updated our 7-page guide. It's got all of this information in it. And then there were a few other small things. Optimal image sizes changed for a few things. So I've updated those in there. And if you would like to download the guide, you can go ahead and sign up for our newsletter list. If you are already a member of our newsletter list and you want the guide today, you can still sign up. It won't double send you. And I will also be including a link to download the guide in this month's monthly magic newsletter, which will be sent out in about a week and a half, 2 weeks from yesterday. So I am going to stop sharing my screen so I can see the chat and comments. Okay, we are working on a business suite presentation for another organization, so we can work on that. I will, if somebody would put that in the notes, that would be great. That's my team. Our team, if you could just put that in the notes, that would be great. At this point, I will open it up to questions. You're welcome to unmute yourself if you have any questions. And it doesn't have to be related to the presentation. It can be anything. Okay. I know there aren't that many of you out there. That's fine. I'll give you another minute or two.
I got one.
Okay.
Let me turn on my video.
Sure.
So hi everyone. So you mentioned advertising on Facebook is very interesting. We see is a way for ours to grow. Here's a question. Let's say I have an Etsy store. I have my own store. I have an Etsy store. I really want to drive the traffic from advertising to Etsy store instead of my own store, a third-party platform, marketplace. Is it possible to do? Because you know, without my own store, you don't have the certain data. Is that I know it's being done. I just wonder if you have done it and what's your experience?
Do you have any comments on that, Rebecca? Rebecca is our Facebook ad certified person, so.
Yeah, it's certainly something that you can do. You can direct traffic to whatever URL you like. So if you have it on an Etsy shop or a third-party platform or your own website, you can direct traffic there. Further down beyond that, I would like to say yes. In most cases, you get to control what's in your ad. You put your copy, your content, your pictures, and you can tell it where to direct the traffic to. Or you can use it to, if you have a Facebook page that you have a post promoting your product that also links to your page, you could boost the engagement on that Facebook post is another option.
Yeah, we can definitely direct your traffic wherever you want your traffic directed. The only thing I can think is that we don't get the consumer data from the background on Etsy to sort of help us target onto Facebook. And so if there is that data, that's a question of what your data is saying. And if there's enough that you want to share it with us so that we can use that to target your Facebook ads, because that's the piece that we don't get. But if we know roughly who your consumer is in terms of demographics and interests, yes, we can target them on Facebook and then just target them for an Etsy shop purchase.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We had I would say about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe not that long ago, we tried it. It was very short term. What I learned from the experience is you can get started, but the optimization is quite a complicated progress. You need data to support your decision. What has it been like if I start brand new, we drive traffic to Etsy, how long you normally take to and hours to have a very optimistic campaign, meaning profitable? Another question is, do your clients get a profitable off Facebook right away, or how long is that going to take?
It varies. And if I knew 100% to say, yes, I can make it go viral and get you profits tomorrow, it would be a lot less stressful because Facebook keeps changing their algorithm and like the ads and the formats. A few things that work better than others, if you have video showing your product or showing what problem it solves, that can be highly effective. I don't know that I could give you a straight answer on hours and length of time in order to make it be profitable. Even like starting from zero to a profit, I'd need to look, and we'd have to experiment some. Then you try a couple of things, you see what works, and then you use that information to help guide your next decisions. Because it's not just one thing. A Facebook ad is not the magic trick. It's a combination of things, right? If you're going to be successful, you do want to have relevant, updated content. You want to have good quality photos. You want to have good descriptions. I would not put all the eggs in the Facebook basket unless you know for sure that's where your audience is.
Well, and I would say that we don't get granular and check ads every day. I would say with most of our clients, we're doing once or twice a month check-in, depending on what it is that we're promoting.
Right. You want to set up the ads. I'm sorry, Laura, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like they've also changed how they're doing reporting. They're not giving you, it's more, I think, over the course of a week versus an instantaneous 24-hour. So if you're looking at it every day, the ads, it's frustrating. It's better to look at it over the week or every 2 weeks and then do some tweaking. So it's given time for the people in that target audience to see it, and then you can make other choices.
Yeah, if we knew how to make everything magic, we would,
well,
we would have so many clients.
Well, I'm not looking, I'm in the business line of to know magic doesn't happen, right? But that should be a process. We know the data, we know which target, which keyword is converting, and then we just do more when we increase budget. That's the process I have a question about. I understand it's a process.
Right, that is definitely the process. And I don't even know if it can be answered in a month, because depending on what the product is and your audience, for example, yarn, not many people, new knitters, are going to pick up the yarn and knitting needles in July and August. It's too hot. You might get the hardcore knitters that are working all year round and know to plan ahead. And so you shift what you're talking about based on the season. So there's a lot of different factors, and it is a process. It is ongoing. Um,
And if you wanted to try, now would be a great time to try, because we're getting into, you know, the pinnacle of crafting season. So the next few months would be good to run ads and see, you know, what kind of interest you can generate.
Yeah. Yeah. So with the three major platform, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, do you, for young company, do you think, do you still believe Facebook is the best, is the place to start advertising?
I think it depends on the demographics of your clientele. I mean, if your clientele is like 50s, 60s, women crafters with disposable income, Facebook is probably the way to a great place to start. I mean, the deal is that Instagram, you're going to skew slightly younger, and Pinterest, you're also going to skew slightly younger. So in terms of growth potential for future crafters, we like to hit those areas, but we find that most of our clients have their strongest presence on Facebook. Now, that's not entirely true. I don't want to speak out of turn, but based on who the crafters are, Facebook is one of their favorite platforms.
Thank you.
We do not have any info on YouTube, but we do not have any clients who are advertising on YouTube. However, we could look on some of that. I will add that to the list of things that we could potentially look at in the future. We do a little bit of YouTube optimization for videos, and we do have some tips and tricks around that, but we don't have anyone so far who has had the budget and wanted to advertise on YouTube that I'm aware of. Are you guys aware of anyone?
I asked the question about YouTube because I see a lot of selling on YouTube now. And my husband and I, you know, we're both at home working, and we eat lunch together. So we watch YouTube videos while we eat lunch. And I don't think I'm the only retired, you know, working person doing that. I think there's a lot of people doing it. And I see a lot of, sorry, that's my dog. I see a lot of, as opposed to something else, that's my dog shaking her collar. But anyway, I see a lot of, I see a few yarn stores who have, you know, little, what do you call it? Vlogs, or just, you know, it's not a podcast, but it's a broadcast of what they've been doing. And I see eBay resellers doing a lot of sales things, and they sell from those YouTubes. And so when you were talking about the Instagram reels and the video content on those, and I find myself fascinated by those things. I sit there and watch those all night too.
Yeah.
For some reason, I have all these brides from overseas coming on my Instagram reels. I don't know about yours, but for some reason they chose brides for me, which is fine. I love it. But it's fascinating. But anyway, I was wondering if maybe that could be applied from YouTube to Instagram reels, because there are a lot of younger knitters and crocheters on that and watching it.
I was going to say, I guess I misunderstood you a little bit, because we were talking about advertising opportunities. So we don't know much about advertising opportunities on YouTube, because we don't have clients doing that. We do have clients who are creating videos. And we do suggest that you add videos to your YouTube because you are going to attract a different audience there. And we do some optimization with that, some kind of similar to the way you socially post, which is, you know, giving yourself descriptions with key rich words, putting links back to, you know, give everybody a call to action and a link back to your website where to find things. I have a client who does a Facebook Live every Tuesday, and she opens boxes of whatever she's got into the store. And then we take that video and we also cross post it to YouTube and to Instagram and then we create a blog post of everything that she talks about with links and shopping links, and we direct all the traffic back to the blog, you know, so that people can shop from there. So yes, we do some work with YouTube. You know, the two big things are, it's hard for us to create video content. We have to have clients who want to create video content, because otherwise we have to go to a video studio. And while we do have a few contacts, it tends to be really, really expensive, you know, like $1,000 for 3 to 5 minutes of video. So some of, you know, if you're creating good content, we can cross-post it a bunch of different places. Also, if you're creating crafting tutorials where you're already showing, for instance, some of our sewing stores show how to do different techniques in sewing. And if you're actually creating that content, yeah, post those tutorials up on YouTube with links back to the store on projects that use it or where they can find more information. And YouTube can definitely be a tool to drive traffic to your site.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks.
So yeah, I misunderstood because I just know that we haven't helped anyone pay for ads yet. There.
Mm. It is a very interesting subject. I do see ads. You know, we watch your videos. You do ads do come up, and I always thought that's a great place. Speaking of targeting, you know exactly who watching, how to knit that sweater. It definitely is a knitter or crocheter. I'm not an expert. I think it's something to do with the Google ads, but again, I think this is I want to learn more. Another question, I think another third-party marketplace coming up I'm interested in is a Facebook marketplace. Have you, Pamela, do we have the same interest in common? You look for, because I was there to look for things in my neighborhood, I look for used one, but or new one. But what do you come up? I know they're tracking me. If I look for something, the ads are coming in. There are a lot of selling brand new. The image, they look like they're the marketers, they make it look like it's something you own. Pictures not that professional, but if you click, it actually take you to a store. It's a professional store. Pamela, have you seen that?
Yes. Yes, I have seen that. And it's there are some online yarn businesses like I think I've seen Zen Yarn Garden. I think I've seen Paradise Fibers. Don't hold me to that, but big online yarn suppliers. I've seen that on Facebook Marketplace. And I was surprised that they got, and there's also furniture that way. You see brand new furniture on Facebook Marketplace when I'm looking for things in the neighborhood, like you said, just something. So it is, I wonder how they do that. I don't know.
Yes.
Add that to the list.
Yes.
Add that to the list.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes for future office hours.
Facebook is such a monster, just a big, and I think I read somewhere where Mark Zuckerberg said that they're working to become, what is it? It's the word's not universe, but they're working to become the universe where you step into the Facebook world. I would have to go back and try to find something, but it's not that important.
He would like to be the only person out there.
Yes. And frankly, I have misgivings about giving all those permissions to Facebook for my Shopify site.
Agreed.
I find it a little uncomfortable. I just feel like you said, if, don't put all your eggs into one Facebook basket, and they would like that very much. And,
I would feel better if they were more trustworthy stewards of the information. And so far they have not proven as such.
Thank you. I'm glad you said it, not me.
No, I agree with you. I mean, we have to, we kind of bang our heads against the wall quite a bit about Facebook, and it's one of those kind of double-edged swords, which is there are a lot of people there are a lot of people using it. It's where you reach your market. It's not necessarily where you would choose if you had, if you could wish for anything, it might not be Facebook.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, is I seen what I seen, just one thing I want to add. I seen sell how to say it, handmade jewelry on Facebook marketplace. The store they're taking back to, I don't know, maybe Etsy, maybe a independent store. Definitely you go to a shopping cart, not something you know, like cash based transition. So I have another topic I wonder for future reference. Is that a time to ask?
Sure. Yep.
So I have a Facebook group on knitting. It is a knitting group. It grown to be I think 16,000 members.
Wow.
You know, as a group like this, only a percentage are active. You know, some are active over the years. You know, nothing unusual about that. So the group was a very good group because we spent a lot of time to clean up the bad eggs, negative energy, you know, all that. So now people like it. So I recently want to make it a group to include the crochet. I got back what that called resistance to say no crochet, only knitting. I thought that's my group, but no. So no way. So they against. I even did a polling and did you know, all that. So no, stay with knitting. You go crochet on other places. So, but the big question is, how do I, you know, I don't allow any advertising. So it's a very tight group, a very clean group. So now I have a business I want to sell. I want to sell my products, but I set the rules that I can break. You know, I have a 4 administration, you know, and you know, admin to you know, police the group. Now what do I do? How, you know, I somehow I think I was told you manage Facebook groups. How to find a balance? That's my question.
I've seen a lot of groups have like one day that you can do self-promotion, that they have like self-promotion Saturday or self-promotion Monday. So one day a week it's allowed to, you know, share some of these things, but all the other days it's just it's nothing else. And that seems to be, it works for a lot of groups.
I was going to say in my tech editing group, the way they do it is it's a Saturday thing. And she says it's Tech Edit Saturday. You can advertise your services here and you can reply to that post with a link to your website. And if you have, you know, services available and when and whatever. So everybody gets a fair shot at responding to that post, but that's it. It's in one post and then it's there. I don't know if there are options to, can you display advertisements in your, can you choose what advertisements are displayed in your groups?
I'm doing yes, it's a thread. You know, every post that thread.
Well, but I'm saying as opposed to like posting your products in the group, can you choose that your, I'm asking Rebecca actually, if no,
I don't think you can
okay,
advertise to groups.
okay.
I mean, I'm scrolling through in my head the screenshots of setting up Facebook ads, and I don't think you can
Because I
promote
was
within the
going to say, if you're a
market.
moderator and for instance, you want an ad for your products to come up in
Right.
your group, could you?
No, it's not like on Ravelry,
Right.
right, where you can pick and there's some leeway there of, you know,
Yeah.
the banners at the bottom, but no, not on Facebook. I would also agree. I've seen the same as like a self-promo Saturday or shout it out Sunday, and it's you just set it up. We're making a change. We're doing it one day a week in this
Right.
thread, and that's it.
I used to admin a writers group on Facebook myself, and you kind of have to be very firm. If you're the admin, you're going to be the bad guy sometimes. And there comes, you know, it's not fun. You know, you everything's fun at the beginning, but then somebody, you know, and yeah, so you just have to make up your mind that you've got to lay your foot down.
I was going to say the only other way I can think to go is, and you lose out on the nice group that you've created, but is to create a second group that's more geared towards your business, and then invite people to come over to the second group. You know, if it's your group, you can say, hey, I'm creating this group focused around whatever, if it's knit and crochet and craft, and we'll allow a little bit of advertising or whatever, you know, and then create a new group with the new rules.
And I say this too, um, what's her name? Sharon, Casapinka.
Mm-hmm.
She has an enormous group, knitting group. We would all like to have a group that size. And sometimes some bad stuff, you know, some bad energy comes in. I've seen it. And that admin, she's not the only admin. There are at least one other, if not two. And they delete the posts as fast as they can. But she uses a lot of good humor to deflate issues. Egregious bullshittery is her coin term, egregious bullshittery. So, you know, figure out a way to be funny about it, or speak through your cat or your dog the way she speaks through Sharon. You know, I think she was brilliant doing it that way, because everybody, you know, nobody's going to hate on a cat, an adorable cat. So, you know, that's another tip with your group. If it helps, just figure out a way to do it funny, and kick out the bad stuff as fast as you can.
Yeah. I know Megan had a question about Pinterest.
Yes. So I'm not on, I was on Pinterest a while back, haven't been on it for a while. And I'm getting ready to do a push to try to get my patterns on Pinterest. What have you found is the best way to link back? Right now, all my pins link directly to Ravelry, because that's where I do the majority of my sales. Would it be better if I was creating more like blog pages for each design that has the multiple links where you can buy it? Or like, what have you found is the best place to link back via Pinterest?
So have you claimed your website on Pinterest?
I have, yes.
Okay, then you're going to want to post it as links back to your website, because Pinterest will rank those higher in the algorithm because they are coming from your owned website than to Ravelry. So I would definitely do either a blog post or some kind of listing, and even if it directs them with a second click to purchase, that's fine. But Pinterest wants you to promote your own, create your own great content, and they're going to promote that more than they will a Ravelry pin.
Okay. And for the blog post, then, is it just some pictures and a little writing about, you know, the inspiration, or what do you recommend for posts about designs?
You can kind of do whatever you want to do. I mean, usually you can get sort of the romance text, the description from Ravelry or Etsy or wherever. But if you add a little something that makes it a little more interesting to read, like where your inspiration came from, a funny thing that happened while you were designing this, like, you know, something fabulous about the photo shoot, or, you know, there are some people who share funny outtakes from their photo shoot, you know, like just things that give them a little more insight into you, your personality, and a little bit of a kind of behind the scenes, as well as a, hey, I released a pattern. And I'm trying to think, I'm pretty sure Hunter Hammerson does blog posts for every new product she releases. And not that you'd want to sound exactly like her, but she's super creative and she has all these fun stories. So you might just read through some of what she has to give you an idea of how you might express yourself, you know, what you might want to include. I'm trying to think of who else writes like really great kind of pattern launch things. I'll think about it for the next day or two and email you if I think of anyone else who does a nice job for that.
But I think Kate Davies might be a good one to look at too. Kate Davies.
Oh,
she usually does really beautiful photos and talks about the patterns. So
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anyone else I know who does like a blog post or a real promotional campaign. I know it when I see it. Okay, so we are getting close to, we're about quarter till. I can take, yeah, see you later, Flossie. If anyone else has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And then I will tell you that our next topic is going to be, we're doing a back to basics series on our blog lately. We've talked about like how to create a great newsletter. And so one of the things that we're going to do, our next session is going to be on, I wrote it down, on October 12th. And we're going to do a brief presentation on what makes a great social media post. So there are 3 elements that make a great social media post, and then we can talk about all the other things. And I will even put in there, because I already have some of it in another presentation, I will put in a little bit on how to navigate posting through Facebook Business Suite. So I'll kill a bunch of birds with one stone. So thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, you can always reach us on our website using the contact button, or you can reply to one of the emails that we send out. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Thank you for sharing. Great.